form this sort of little intellectual collective where they're going to defeat gravity. So, for example, because people are going to say, Eric, this is all nonsense, and it isn't. Jamie, is it possible to pull up a stone monument at Tufts University to the anti-gravity that was done there? So put in Tufts stone anti-gravity. This guy littered universities all across the country with these monuments to prove that this anti-gravity stuff was actually taking place at American universities. And he established an essay contest. All right, so check this out. This monument has been erected by the Gravity Research Foundation, Roger Babson, founder, to remind students of the blessings forthcoming when science determines what gravity is and how it works and how it may be controlled. This is about UFOs and the idea that we are going to harness the power of gravity and we are going to get a supreme advantage. And these stones are littered around the country. Here's another one.
So this is not widely known that this research is being done.
This is hugely embarrassing to us.
Hugely embarrassing because it hasn't yielded results?
No, hugely embarrassing because it carries the stench of pseudoscience. See, when people don't like me coming on your program and saying things that nobody else in the world is saying, they call me a pseudoscientist, or that's crackpot. And these words, like, you don't take them that seriously. We had this discussion before with like Tim Dillon saying something about me. What has he ever done? Academics play these games with each other where we try to push each other out of the ring like sumo wrestlers. And the way you push somebody out is you say, oh, that guy's a crackpot. He's a grifter. He's a pseudoscientist.
Right.
He's nutty. He's a nutter. Bullshit. This was the marriage of the ultimate nuttiness with the highest prestige physics we know how to do. And
was this considered nuttiness in 1964, though?
This is the interesting question. In the middle of the 1950s, this is mainstream in newspapers. But, for example, Bryce DeWitt, so here's how the two stories cross. Okay, you start off with Babson and Bainson.
Okay.
They're the money. Babson found something called the Gravity Research Foundation in New Boston, New Hampshire. And he gets the Glenn L. Martin Company, which is the precursor of Martin Marietta, precursor of Lockheed Martin. Do you know this stuff?
No.
Okay. And he gets them to hire Lewis Witten out of Johns Hopkins. Lewis Witten is a respectable physicist who takes the position and forms something called the Research Institute for Advanced Study. Now, you've probably heard of Bell Labs or Xerox PARC, and you probably haven't heard of the Research Institute for Advanced Study.
No.
Yet this has illustrious names associated with it. Solomon Lefschetz, the great topologist, comes out of retirement to work on this anti-gravity inspired project. Rudolf Kallman of Kallman Filtering. There's no shortage. Sheldon Glashow, who discovers spontaneous symmetry breaking under Julian Schwinger at Harvard, is attached to the Research Institute of Advanced Study. It has a campus in Baltimore, Maryland that, I can tell you the address at some point. We pretend that it didn't happen and doesn't exist.